Hello everyone, welcome to Coaching Conversations with me. I'm Amantha King and I would like you to give a very warm welcome to my guest today, Dani Saadu. Hello Dani.
Hey everyone.
The Zoom wave. So let me introduce Dani. Dani is Global Head of People Development at Collinson, a privately owned entrepreneurial company with over 2,000 employees in 20 countries worldwide. Dani is also a Scrum Master and a Lean Six Sigma specialist, and I'm going to be asking him what on earth all that means. But welcome, Dani. Lovely to have you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, Dani, you're super busy, so we're gonna cram in as many questions as we can because you are someone who captures a lot of interest on LinkedIn, particularly. Your posts are fantastic, and so you were a natural ask for my slot here on Coaching Conversations because I'm intrigued to know more about you, and I think people who follow me on YouTube and on LinkedIn will be also intrigued to know more about you. So, is it okay to just ask you some questions in a sort of coaching conversation type way?
Of course, that's what I'm here for.
So, Dani, I mean, what is it you do? I mean, Global Head of People Development sounds enormous. What is it you do?
I'm responsible for ensuring that the people within Collinson have the right capabilities and skills and knowledge to do their job to the best of their ability. I'm also there to support the business in moving forward and driving organizational development, talent management, and supporting people's engagement and attitude in the workplace.
Wow. So when you're not doing that, what is a Scrum Master and a Lean Six Sigma specialist as well? I'm conjuring up images of rugby and stuff.
A Scrum Master comes from Agile way of working. So Agile is a method. Agile is a way of working in a framework that originated from software development, and it's a way of working collaboratively with no hierarchy and self-organization to produce pieces of work. And I am a certified Scrum Master in the principles of Agile and working in Scrum and Kanban in production of products or projects and that way of working. And Lean is another kind of methodology and way of working around streamlining your existing processes, making them more efficient and cutting out the fat while maintaining quality and reducing cost.
Wow. So there's a huge diversity in your skill set there, isn't there? You know,
there is.
It's
Yeah.
vast. And I was just looking up, because obviously we share something in that we both were in the pharmaceutical industry. And correct me if I'm wrong, you started with AstraZeneca in 2001.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Did you enjoy your time in the industry?
I loved it. It was an amazing 6 years. I worked in primary care and sparingly in secondary care in the North London area. Yeah, it was great times.
Fantastic. So I've got some questions here just to give people more of a flavour about you as a person.
Okay.
If you were to straight off the bat tell me, what is the driving force in your life? What gets you up in the morning?
I wrote a post about this actually on LinkedIn regarding a Japanese concept called Akigai. Akigai stands for a reason for being. And it's a concept that Japanese people use to find their kind of like ideal career and working situation to get them out of bed in the morning. And there are 4 questions you should ask yourself. What do you love? What are you good at? What can you be paid for? And what does the world need? And if you can answer all those 4 questions, you get a convergence in the middle, which is your Ikigai. And I do that regularly. I actually did it in May recently after very challenging circumstances and things that have happened to me currently. And it kind of like gave me a renewed sense of purpose. So what I love doing, so I'll go through my Ikigai, the 4 things. The things I love doing is I love being a supportive coach and mentor. I love working with people to unlock their potential and take them from A to B on their journey. I am good at communication, people tell me, and influencing and persuading people and helping people to learn and develop. I can get paid for being in people development. That's what I do. And what the world needs is people to believe in them and to support them and to help them unlock their potential so they can be the best version of themselves so that we can have a better society.
And that's brilliant. I mean, if that's how clear you can be about your reason for getting up in the morning. That's fantastic. So is this something, do you feel, will be coming more into coaching conversations, certainly in your organisation? I'm sure it's already ever present.
Yeah.
But do you think, would you advise this would be the sort of thing that other organisations really need to be bringing into their cultures to talk about, to keep people motivated?
I would recommend so, and I would think they should, because one of the things that definitely is happening right now with the impact of COVID-19 and being on lockdown and working in, in remotely and working in isolation from your work colleagues, is that you have a lot of time to think and to reflect, and it's challenging times right now. And if you don't love what you do, and you are not passionate about what you do, and you don't have a real strong sense of purpose, you might struggle right now with what's going on in the world, and what's going on in your life, and what's going on around you. And I would say this has probably been the most challenging period in my life, but having a job I love and having a real strong sense of purpose is what's helped with my resilience and well-being.
And so, Dani, would it be okay to talk about some of those challenges for you this year? Obviously, I know what a tough year it's been for you. We've talked offline as well about this, and I asked you if it'd be okay to talk about how difficult your year has been, because there's a very special someone who's not here now, and I just thought this would be a wonderful time to talk about how you have used all your skills and resources to keep going, to keep pursuing your passion and your purpose. So can you tell us a little bit about what's happened to you this year?
Yeah, so at the end of March, my dad, who was a semi-retired doctor, died of COVID-19, the coronavirus. He was the fourth doctor in the UK to pass away from the disease. So it was really early in the lockdown. We'd only been in lockdown for about a week, and he was a big part of my life. We were very close. I'm a very close family-orientated person. And it just showed, I can explain how close we are. He's passed away now about 5 to 6 months, and this is the longest I've ever gone in my life without seeing him, and I'm 40 this year. So it just shows you how close we are. I would see him 3 or 4 times a week. The university I went to was only 2 hours away from my home. My house where I live now is only 2 miles away from my parents' house. I've always been very orientated around my family, so it's been very tough, and I miss him every day. And I suppose what has got me through or helped get me through have been a number of different aspects. One, using the impact of my dad passing away to really refocus my purpose on what I want to achieve in life and in my personal life and work life. And also because of the fact that he was a well-renowned doctor, it made the national news, and I was on TV, talking about him and honoring his memory. The amount of recognition he got, and the amount of messages I got from people about the impact he had on their lives, was phenomenal. And that has also given me a renewed sense of purpose to do more things like this. This is not something I would normally do, but I want to share my story and to do more things around, helping the wider society, because I think my story might help people out there.
I think it will help massively. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I mean, for anyone who hasn't looked at Dani's profile, go and look at Dani's profile, because you see the most beautiful picture of your dad looking straight back at you. And actually you have to do a double take, because you look so alike. It's absolutely phenomenal. I just looked at it before we came on, and it's absolutely lovely. And to see his smiling face must be in some way a huge comfort every day. You probably have that image of him in your mind, but for anyone who is watching who has also lost someone, or people who are terribly ill and recovering, yours is a great story, definitely. And I know how much your dad has influenced your life. So which of your values stand out most for you as you sit here today? Which of your values, and the ones that you shared with your dad and continue to share with your dad, because your dad will always be in your life, which of those values stand out most for you today?
My dad was somebody who liked to support and take care of others, and that's the reason why he became a doctor in the first place. It's something that was ingrained in him. He very much liked to provide the best care possible for them, regardless of who they were. I give a bit of a story. I actually mentioned this on the news when I was talking to them about my father passing, and it was something that resonated with quite a few people. When he was sick with symptoms of coronavirus, I encouraged him to go to the hospital about a week and a half after his symptoms, and he was like, "Danny, no, it's a virus. My body has to fight it off itself." And the thing he said to me was also, you didn't want to take up a hospital bed in the NHS when there are more people out there. There are people there who would need it more than he would. So that was just the kind of person he was. So I think I get a lot of that from him.
Lovely. That's absolutely wonderful. And if you were to sort of be in an opportunity, say like an elevator pitch type scenario where you could tell people about the power of values in their lives, what would be your pitch for someone to really find out what their values are, to engage with that driving force? What would you say?
The better you understand and know yourself, the better you'll be at being the best version of yourself. I worked with a company called Courageous Success, and a few years ago, I created something called a values ripple, which is a one-page document which identifies what are your 12 core values and how important they are to your dynamic and how you operate. And I open it daily. It's on my LinkedIn page if you want to go and have a look, because it's there. And I open it and have it open daily, and I make sure that I consciously bring those values out on a day-to-day basis. I either drive actions or I do things to bring those values out. And as a result of that, it's made me a better version of myself. And it's helped me manage my well-being and be more resilient.
Yeah, fantastic.
And also it's made me more comfortable with who I am. Listen, I'm not here trying to preach, because I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes in my life. But understanding your values and knowing who you are and being comfortable with who you are means that you can become a better version of yourself.
And I think now more so than ever, I think when we're either stuck working from home, or our world has changed, and particularly in the way that yours has, I think we do have to have that moment of introspection, don't we, to go, well,
yeah,
what is this all about? What am I here to do? What impact can I have? Am I happy with my life the way it is currently? And if I'm not, what can I do about that? And values are really a real great shortcut, aren't they?
Correct.
Sort of signpost what's working and what's not. So when you think over your life, and I'm sure lots of people have given you advice, and I'm sure you've given lots of advice. What's the best bit of advice you've ever had?
It started off earlier in my career, and I've taken it with me. Never dismiss feedback. Even if you initially don't believe in it, listen to all of it first, reflect on it, and decide which of it is relevant and which of it is not, because that will help you to adopt where you can a growth mindset. So because of that advice I've got, I'd like to think that whenever I'm very open and welcome to feedback, and people have challenged me many times, and I try not to take it personally. I do my best to not take it personally, because I think to myself, is there anything the person is saying that actually I could do or improve on?
I think that's really good advice. It's really good advice, because usually our first response is our emotional one, right?
Correct.
And I think it's 28 microseconds it takes to get to your amygdala, and that's the bit of you that goes like, God, I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to agree with it, but then a little while later, and I think usually that reflection piece is really important, isn't it? To take that time. I like that a lot. I think, and a lot of people would concur with you that's really important. So obviously you've had a wealth of experience in coaching in many different guises and in terms of developing people. So I wanted to ask you, is there a myth that you would like to dispel about coaching, either what it is or what it isn't in your experience?
One of the myths I'd like to dispel is that you don't need to be a subject matter expert to be a good coach.
Right.
That's one.
Okay.
You just need to be empathetic, good listener, and ask good questions, and be objective.
Yeah.
The other myth, mate, I would say, is that you can actually form very deep connection and coach people to a very deep emotional level, if you do it in the right way. I've seen coaching support people's mental well-being and mental health very powerfully if you are genuine with your approach.
I agree completely. Now more so than ever, that has definitely been my experience of working with people, that actually, you know, if you have that rapport with people and you have that understanding and you want the willingness to be curious yourself as a coach rather than providing all the answers, I think that's the magic space, isn't it, with coaching, that actually you can make a real difference, often in a period of silence. I have found, you know, a good question and a pause and a reflection can be really helpful to people. So those are really good ones, Dani. There's 2 in there. That's fantastic. So this is one of my favorite dinner party ones, so I'm going to throw this in, so I hope you don't mind.
No, it's all right.
Because I've had 2 great books as a result of asking this question to somebody else in an interview. But
Okay.
So if you were going to have a dinner party,
Yeah.
socially distanced or otherwise,
Yeah.
what 3 people would you invite? Now, they can be known to you, they can be dead, they can be alive. And if you could tell us why you'd want them at your dinner party. I mean, it's the best dinner party ever. It's going to have all your great music. I mean, even that as well. So tell me, who do you want, those 3 people at your dinner party?
One of them would be former President Barack Obama.
Love it.
I think that whether you believed in his politics or his policies, every time I saw him, he was genuinely a good human being and approachable, and had an amazing skill and ability to connect with people in the moment, own a room. People would gravitate towards him and just form connections with people he didn't know. And I think that is a skill in itself, and is an amazing communicator and orator. The second person would be Denzel Washington. I'm massively into my movies, and he is somebody who just champions determination, drive, commitment to his art, and focus. And I think he would, and I like when I've seen him in his movies, he is in every single movie he's been in, he completely absorbs the character and takes it to another level. And I think he would be somebody I would want to talk to and learn things from. And the last person is Lewis Hamilton. I've got a lot of respect for Lewis Hamilton. I know, you know, some people don't like him, but I have a lot of respect for him because he is a testament to, you don't have to look or be a certain way to be successful. As long as you have the right drive, commitment, and I suppose mindset, you can be very successful. And he is somebody who's always at the top of his game. Whenever he needs that little bit extra to beat his competition or beat his opponents, he always finds it. That little bit extra, which is so hard to do, that little competitive edge, he's always able to find it. And I would want to talk to him about how he does that, so I could incorporate that in my world.
Fabulous. Correct me if I'm wrong, did Denzel Washington do Flight?
He did, yeah.
Honestly, that's one of my
movie,
favorite.
right?
That is a brilliant film, isn't it? About someone who's apparently falling apart, but so
movie.
Together to save a whole airline of people. I mean, he's a great actor. And Barack Obama, I love. I'm currently listening to Michelle Obama, actually. Someone recommended that, but what a great power couple, aren't they? And that, you know, in terms of what they stand for, it's just absolutely amazing. Lewis Hamilton, that's great as well. Just a sneaky 4th person, who would do the music for your dinner party?
It would either be Alexandra O'Neill or Billy Ocean, because that's my era, the 80s. So.
Yeah. Oh, mine too. Absolutely great. Oh, I love that. Could I be invited to that dinner party, please? I always want to go to that. That would be fantastic. So here's one for the world. What do you think the world needs more of right now, and why?
The world needs more kindness right now. It's something that seems to resonate a lot with people. If you watch social media posts, if you look at memes, people need to be kinder to people. I think social media has changed the game. People feel they have the ability, what's the word? They have the either the authority or the responsibility, or they have the power to just troll people and make comments and to make judgments on people's lives without truly understanding what's going on. So I'll give you an example. Chadwick Boseman died recently. He was Black Panther, and up until his death, he was pictured a few times and on video being looking very thin and skinny. And people just attacked him, saying he looked like he was on a drug overdose. He was a drunkie, like he wasn't taking care of himself, not knowing that he had cancer. And it just shows you that actually you don't know what's going on in people's life, and actually people need to be kinder with everything that's going on in the world. With COVID-19 and the impact it's having, and the way it's impacted on people's social interactions, the way we shop, the way we buy, the way we interact, the way we the way we work, everything. People just need to be kinder to one another, I think, because if we were, I think we would all be better off.
I think that's so true. That's so true. I'm actually scared at times to when I see certain things, like on social media, and how quickly things can spiral out of control, or apparently seem to be out of control. And I think we do. I think we could all do with, that ability to listen more, be less reactionary, less judgmental, seek first to understand, and all of those principles. I agree with you. I think the world needs a lot more kindness, and I think we're going to be tested with that. Actually, I think we're going to need to deliver, because many people probably thought we were going to be out of the woods with this situation come end of September type thing. It's here for the duration, so it's going to really test us, isn't it?
Correct.
So coming to my penultimate question then. So what is your purpose in life? We know what it is now. What do you think it's going to look like in 10 years' time from now? What do you see yourself having done or completed or moving towards?
First and foremost, I want to make sure that I continue to be a good husband and dad to my family. And then I'm hoping that I will take my skills and my experience back to Africa, to the continent I was born, to support other people coming through and to help them fulfill their potential so they become more marketable to global organizations. So I'd like to take my skills around people development, L&D or OD, talent management back to Africa to support the youth coming through.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful. And my last question is, if you had one golden nugget to leave for your children, how many children have you got, Dani?
Got 2.
Gorgeous. Okay, how old are they?
4 and 2.
Yeah, lovely. So if you were going to write on a little note and literally have this for them when they're, say, I don't know, 16 or 17.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an absolute pearl of wisdom. What would you write on there and tuck away almost like in a message bottle for them to find when they were 16, knowing that thing would be really helpful to them? What would you tell almost their younger selves based on what you've learnt in your life? What nugget would you leave with them?
Really simply, focus on what you can control and influence. Don't sweat the other stuff, because you can't change or do anything about it. The more you focus on what you can control or influence, the more effective you'll be in your personal and work life. Oh,
that's brilliant. Well, Dani, honestly, I can't believe we've sort of come to the end. It's just absolutely flown by, which is what always happens when you're having a chat, isn't it? When you're having a chit chat, it doesn't matter. And honestly, it's been so lovely to speak to you. So tell me, before we finish, how can people get to know more about you? What's the best place if people want to be in touch with you, or they want to know more about what you do? Where is the best place for them to go to connect with you?
LinkedIn. I like to think I've got a presence on LinkedIn. I like to put a post out every month. I do a lot of, I get invited to a lot of webinars and podcasts now, which is nice. And people post them. So if you believe what I'm saying adds value and you want to hear more from me, LinkedIn is the place.
That's lovely. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Dani. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. And remember, please do make sure you invite me to that party, because that sounds like that's going to be a good one.
I will do.
Lovely. Well, for now, thank you very much, Dani Saadu.